Hello friends, welcome to this video. This is Rohit. In this video we will try to understand two important concepts from C++, that is use of type name and export keyword. Okay friends, if you are visiting this channel first time, please subscribe this channel and hit the bell icon to get latest video notification from this channel. Okay, so let's start. First of all, we will understand what is this type name keyword in C++ and when to use this type name keyword in C++ programs. Okay, so in simple word, this type name is a keyword in C++ that is used while writing templates. Okay, so template is a feature of C++ which allow us to implement generic programming. So your single program can work with multiple data types. Okay, so templates can be of type class or of type function. Okay, so both of these having ability to work with multiple type of data types. Okay, so basically template you can use in C++ for implementing generic programming. I have already made video on these templates. You can find and you can watch that video for more details regarding template. So this type name keyword having two uses basically. So first use is it is used for specifying that dependent name in the template definition or declaration is a type, not a value. Okay, this is the first use. And second use, it is used as an alternative to the class keyword while writing or creating template. Okay, so these are the two uses of type name keyword in C++. Okay, so what first use says here, dependent name and qualified name in the template definition or declaration is a type. So we need to explicitly convey compiler that dependent name and qualified name in the template definition or declaration is a type. Okay, and what is second use? Second is use while creating templates. So here you can see we are creating one class template here. Okay, and here you can see type name keyword is used, okay, instead of class keyword, followed by generic parameter t. Okay, so this is similar to this statement. Okay, so here instead of type name we can use class keyword as well. So type name and class keyword can be parallelly used for creating template, for specifying generic argument for a template. Okay, so here in this example we are using type name for specifying the generic argument, and in this example we are using class keyword for specifying the generic argument. Okay, both will give you same effect. Okay, followed by we have a generic class called demo. Okay, so this second use is quite easy, that instead of class keyword we can use simply type name keyword for specifying our generic parameter. Okay, for our template class or for template function. Okay, but in the first use, for defining that dependent name and qualified name in the template are of type, okay, not of type value. Okay, we need to use this type name keyword. Okay, so in order to understand this type name keyword in proper way, we need to first of all understand two important concepts. Okay, so first concept is called qualified name and second concept is called dependent name. Okay, what statement we made? We made statement that dependent name and qualified name in the template definition or declaration is of type. Okay, we need to explicitly convey this message to compiler because compiler don't know. Okay, so first of all we need to understand this qualified name and dependent name. Okay, so we will try to understand them one by one. So first of all, what are qualified names? So the qualified name is the one that specifies the scope. Okay, So it appears on the right hand side of the scope resolution operator, and the qualified name may refer to class members, that may be static or non-static, types, templates, etc. The qualified name may refer to namespaces. The qualified name may refer to enumerators. Okay, so what qualified names are? So that are specified with the scope. Okay, and to specify the scope we need to use the scope resolution operator. So qualified name basically appears on the right hand side of the scope resolution operator. So it may be class member, it may be namespace, it may be enumerators. Okay, so the important thing is that if there is nothing on the right hand side of the scope resolution operator, then it will be considered as a global namespace. Okay, remember this important thing. So let's see the qualified name example now. So in this program, under main function, there is one statement, std scope resolution operator cout followed by hello message followed by ANDL. Now if you observe in this line, there is a namespace here, std followed by scope resolution operator followed by cout. So here cout will be a qualified name. Why? Because it is specified with the scope. Okay, that is standard using standard scope we have defined this cout. Okay, in the same way we have defined ANDL with the scope. What is scope of ANDL? So they exist within the standard namespace. cout also exists within the standard namespace. So both of these are appear with the standard namespace, that is their scope. Okay, so cout and ANDL will be the qualified name in this example. Okay, so in above example, both cout and ANDL start with std scope resolution operator, which is basically namespace. So we have seen qualified name may be namespace. So instead of this, you can use using clause as well to specify the use of namespace standard. So at the start of your program, after defining header file, you will write statement using namespace std followed by semicolon. Okay, so if you do this, then you don't have to specify cout and ANDL with the prefix standard scope resolution operator. Okay, so if you do so, you will be able to refer cout and ANDL directly without use of standard scope resolution operator namespace. Okay, so look at this another example. So in main function, here we are defining one structure called std. Okay, and then followed by that line number 5, where we are writing statement std scope resolution operator cout and followed by message hello. So here compiler will give you error because there is no such standard namespace is available. So it will give you error, unqualified lookup for standard namespace. There is no standard scope available within this program. But on the next line, if you observe, we have written statement scope resolution operator standard followed by scope resolution operator again followed by cout and hello again message. So there will be no error in this statement because it will refer to global namespace. Okay, just before I told you, if there is nothing on the right hand side of this scope resolution operator, then it will be treated as a global namespace. Okay, then next we will try to understand what are dependent and non-dependent names. Okay, so a dependent name is basically the name that depends on the template parameter, template generic parameter. Okay, and their type is not known until the template instantiation because they are dependent on the template parameter t. So whenever you will pass the value of t, then you will come to know what will be the type of specified dependent name. Okay, because they are dependent on this template parameter t. Okay, so let's look at this example. Here in this template class, line number 4, in which we are declaring one variable of type integer. So this variable will be of type non-dependent. Why? Because at the compile time we know that it is of type integer. Okay, in the same way on line number 5 we are using this standard template library vector, okay, of type integer, and we are creating its instance int vector. So it is also non-dependent. Why? Because at the compile time we know that int vector is of type integer. Okay, so in the same way on line number 6 we are using this iterator class of vector and we are defining its type integer. So this is also non-dependent name. Okay, so line number 4, 5, 6, all these will be non-dependent names. Why? Because their type is known at the compile time. Okay, but look at line number 7, 8, 9. So in line number 7 we are trying to create t variable of type t, that is generic argument, okay, to the template. So it will be dependent name. Why it will be dependent name? Because the type of t is unknown until template instantiation. So until template instantiation we don't know what will be the type of t. Okay, so whenever you will instantiate your template, then and then only we will come to know the type of t. That's why this will be called dependent name, because it is dependent on the generic argument t. In the same way, line number 8 where we are creating vector of type t, so this will be also dependent name. And line number 9, in this we are using iterator, okay, of vector class, so this will be also dependent name. Why? Because here all they are depend on the template parameter t. Okay, so this is what the dependent name and non-dependent name. So whenever you have dependent name and qualified name, then basically you need to use the keyword called type name. Okay, so in above example, statement 4, 5, 6 are called non-dependent name because their type is known at the time of compilation. And in above example, statement number 6, 7, 8, these are called dependent name as their type is not known until template instantiation, because they are dependent on template parameter t. Okay, so what is template instantiation? So whenever you will try to define statement like this in your main function vector int v, so here it is called template instantiation. Okay, so why we need to use type name keyword? Okay, so type name is required in the template when nested name specifier is dependent type and it is qualified name. Okay, whenever your specifier is dependent type and qualified name, okay, then you need to use type name keyword, otherwise compiler will not understand whether it is value or whether it is type. Okay, so here look at this example. Here we are creating nested class. Okay, so first of all we have class A here, then within class A under public section we have class iterator. So here iterator is a type name, okay, and which is nested type name because it is included within another class. Okay, now next to that we are creating one template function here, okay, demo, and it accepting one generic parameter called t, and within this function we are trying to create instance of iterator class t, scope resolution operator, iterator followed by instance name. So here compiler will generate error. So why compiler will generate error here? Because compiler will get confused. It will get confused. It will not understand what is this t iterator here because it's out of scope, okay, of this function. So compiler will fail to create instance of iterator class here. Okay, so if you observe this statement, you will come to know that this is qualified and dependent statement. Why it is qualified? Because here we are specifying the scope, okay, T followed by scope resolution operator, and it is dependent. Why it is dependent? Because it is depend on the template parameter T. Okay, so compiler will get confused here about this statement, T followed by scope resolution operator followed by iterator. So compiler will not understand what is this exactly, whether it is type or whether it is value. Okay, so what is solution to above problem? So solution to above problem is type name keyword. Okay, so we need to explicitly tell compiler that this is of type, not a value. Okay, so you can do it with help of type name keyword. So just you have to write type name at the start of this statement, so compiler will come to know that this is actually a type, not a value. Okay, so look at here, we have used type name keyword here. Okay, type name followed by T, scope resolution operator, iterator I. So there will be no error now at this time, because compiler will understand T iterator is a type name here. So compiler will create the instance of iterator class. Okay, so let's look at another example. Here there is a structure called test, and here we are using typedef keyword for creating new name to this integer data type. So we can create integer type of variable using myInt as well, because myInt is alternative name to int, which is created using typedef keyword. Okay, so in this template function I am trying to create the pointer variable of type myInt. Okay, so here compiler will give you error, because compiler don't know what is this T scope resolution operator myInt. Okay, so compiler will throw the error, and in main function we are creating object of this test structure, and we are calling this demo function by passing the instance of structure test. Okay, so in above example, in the template function, while creating the pointer of type T scope resolution myInt, compiler will generate error. Why? Because compiler will not understand what is this T scope resolution operator myInt asterisk P. Okay, so the reason is that it is qualified and dependent name. Why it is qualified name? Because it consists the scope. And why it is dependent name? Because it is depend on the template parameter. Okay, so C++ standard declares that the qualified name and the dependent name should not be assumed as name of type, okay, unless we specify it with type name keyword. Okay, so by default the dependent name and qualified name are treated as a value, not as a type by this C++ compiler. Okay, so in short, compiler can't tell if dependent name is value or type. So we need to explicitly convey it by writing type name keyword at the start of statement. Okay, so it assume by default as a value instead of type. Okay, so in our example, the statement T scope resolution myInt asterisk T. So instead of declaring pointer of type T scope resolution myInt, it will multiply the value, okay, of T scope resolution myInt with P. Okay, so it will not create instance of myInt, okay, as a pointer variable. Simply it will multiply it, because it is treating it as a value, not as a type. Okay, so let's look at one practical example of this type name, how to use this type name. So in this example, we are creating one template class called A class, and within this template class, I am defining one statement, type name, scope T, scope resolution operator, C, that is class name, and its object. So this statement will throw error if we don't use type name here. Why? Because it is qualified name and it is dependent name, so we must have to use type name keyword here. So as we have used type name keyword, so if you don't use this type name keyword, it will throw error here. Okay, so under public section, one function I have created, get data, and in this get data I am calling one more function from C class, that is data, using the object of C class, that is C object. So C object dot data, this will call the data function from C class, which is defined in the B class as a nested class. Okay, on next screen we have B class. So in B class, under public section, I have created one more class called C class. So C will be the nested class. Okay, and in this C class I have defined one function called data. Okay, so this data function we are calling into class A using the object of C class. Okay, so how we are creating object of nested class? So we are writing parent class name or outer class name, followed by scope resolution operator, followed by inner class name, followed by object name. Okay, so this data function will get invoked in the class A here, in class A here. Okay, using the object of C class. Okay, so here we are using the type name keyword. Okay, so in main function we will create the instance of class A and we will pass B as a parameter to the template class. Okay, so and we will call the get data function from class A using the object of A. So whenever we will call this get data function, it will call the data function from class C. Okay, so we will try to execute this code. Okay, so I will move to coding part. Okay, so here we will try to write and execute this code. So first of all, I will create one template class A. Class A. Okay, now within this class A, I will try to define the instance of class C. Okay, so under public section I will define one function here, void get data, and in this get data function I will try to call data function which is defined in class C. Okay, so to call the data function of class C, I will try to use the object of C class. So I will use here C obj dot data. Okay, so this is what our class A will consist. Okay, then we will try to create class B here, followed by class A. Okay, in class B, under public section, I will define nested class, that is class C, and in public section I will define one function here called data function, and just one line I will put within this. Cout data is here. Okay, now we have class A which consists get data function, and in this get data function we are calling data function from class C, which is nested class. Okay, within class B. So B is the outer class here and C is the inner class here. Okay, and we are calling this data function inside this class A. Okay, now in main function what I will do, I will try to create the instance of template class A. So as it is template class, I have to specify the type here, then I will specify the object name A, and using this object I will call get data function. Okay, now our program is ready. Let's try to compile this program. So it will throw error, okay, of type name. Okay, let's try to build this code. I will press Ctrl B here to build this code. You can see building is started here. Now it will give you error of type name because compiler will fail to understand what is this T scope resolution C obj, whether it is type or whether it is value. Now you can see error, need type name before T scope resolution C, because T is what? Dependent name. T is dependent name and it is qualified name. Why it is qualified name? Because we have scope specified here with scope resolution operator. Okay, so compiler will fail to understand what is this T scope resolution C and it will fail to create this instance. So here we need to explicitly tell compiler that this is type. C is what? Type, not a value. So it will be able to create instance of this C class, that is C obj, and then we will able to call this data function. So here what solution I will do here? I will write type name keyword here in front of this statement. Why we are using type name keyword here? Because this is qualified and dependent name. Okay, this is what? Remember where to use type name keyword? With qualified and dependent name. Okay, and when it will be qualified name? When we will have scope, and when it will be dependent name, when it will be depend on template parameter. So here template parameter is T. So until template instantiation, here we are implementing template instantiation. So until this statement we don't know the type of T. Okay, so that's why this statement is depend on template parameter T. Okay, so this statement is basically qualified and dependent name. Okay, that's why here we have to use keyword type name at the start. Okay, now let's try to build this code. Again I will save this code and I will press Ctrl B. Okay, semicolon is remaining somewhere. Okay, nested class is there, that's why again I will build it. You can see the output, data is here. Okay, this is how we can use this type name keyword, and where we have to use this type name keyword? With qualified and dependent name. Okay, so here compiler will not understand. If you remove this, compiler will not understand what is this T scope resolution C. So to tell compiler it is type, we need to write here type name keyword at the start. So whenever compiler will look at this statement, it will understand we need to create here instance of class C, that is C obj. Okay, this is how you can work with type name keyword in C++. Okay, so next to that you have export keyword. Okay, what is export keyword in C++ language? So export is a keyword in C++ language. The export keyword has various uses as per the various standards of C++ language. So there are different standards available till now of C++ language. So let's look at these various standards of C++ language. So first standard were defined in 1998 and its name was ISO IEC 14882:1998. So informal name of this standard was C++ 98. Okay, so likewise in 2003 we had C++ 03, then in 2011 we had C++ 11 or alternative name C++ 0x, then in 2014 we had C++ 14 or C++ 1y, then in 17 we had C++ 17 or C++ 1z. Okay, and latest we have C++ 20 standard. Okay, or alternative name is C++ 2a. Okay, so for every standard there are different compilers. Okay, so here ISO is International Standard Organization, and this IEC is International Electrotechnical Commission. Okay, so both of these organizations work together in order to create the standards for C++ language. Okay, now what is use of this export keyword in C++ 11 standard? So in C++ 11 standard it is used to mark the template definition that is to be exported. Okay, so what was main use of export keyword in C++ 11 standard? So we will be able to separate the template definition and template calling or invoking. Okay, so for separating your template definition and actual use, we can use this export keyword in C++ 11 standard, but it is deprecated now. Okay, so the C++ export keyword was originally meant to permit the separation of definition of your template from its usage. So it proved to be difficult to implement, and the export template C++ feature was deprecated in the C++ 11. Okay, so it having never seen widespread uses of this export keyword. Okay, then what was use of export keyword in C++ 11 to C++ 20 standard? So it was unused and it was reserved. Okay, there were no any use specified during C++ 11 to C++ 20 standard. Okay, now what is use of this export keyword in C++ 20 standard? So in C++ 20 standard it is used with the modules, concept of modules. Okay, so modules are basically help us to divide the large amount of code into small logical parts. So each logical part will be called module. So module is one of the 5 prominent feature of the C++ 20. Okay, C++ 20 standard. So module will overcome the restrictions of the header files. Okay, so we will also have faster build time and easier way to build packages with this export keyword in C++ 20 standard, and it is used to mark the declaration or the group of declaration that are to be exported using export keyword. Okay, so I will try to show you one example how this export keyword is available in the C++ 20 standard. So here in the line number 1 we are trying to export one module called demo. Okay, so this is called module declaration which is to be exported. Then here we are importing IOStream header file. This is called import declaration. Then followed by that we are trying to export the demo function here. Okay, so export followed by return type followed by your function name. Okay, and here we are trying to print one hello world. Okay, using cout statement. Okay, so this is called demo.cppm file. Okay, C++ module file. Okay, you have to save this file with cppm extension, that is C++ module file. Okay, so from this file we are trying to export module. Okay, which will be import and which will be used within the another file. Then in test.cpp file we will try to import that exported module here. So we will use import keyword here, import demo. Demo is the name of module that we want to import here, followed by in the main function I can invoke the demo function. Okay, which was exported from demo.cppm. Okay, this demo function we had exported. So here we can invoke it directly because we have imported the demo module here. Okay, like this you can export the modules and you can import the modules. Okay, another example we will try to see. Okay, so here in this example we will try to export module called addNum. Okay, name of module is what? addNum. So here on the next line I am exporting its definition. Okay, so export and followed by my function definition int add. It has two parameter, integer a and integer b, and it is going to return integer value, that is addition of a and b. Okay, so this file will be saved with name addnum.cppm. Okay, now this addnum module we will be able to use within another file. Okay, so here in this main.cpp file I am importing first of all addNum module, and then I can directly call this add function, and I will pass two parameter 2020. So this add function will get called and it will return the value of a and b. Okay, so this is how this export and import keyword can be used in the C++20 standard. Okay, so to compile this above code you need clang++ compiler, or you can use cl.exe compiler, okay, which support C++20 standard. Okay, so this is how you can use export keyword and type name keyword in C++. Okay, so friends, if you find this video useful, please like and share it. I will see you in next video. Thank you for watching.